Hello. Welcome once again. My name is Kevin Owasu Itoe, and welcome to my blog and my video channel. Teach yourself test automation. I am teaching myself Selenium WebDriver with Java, right? So again, welcome to day 22, right? And we're looking at WebDriver commands, right? WebDriver commands. So visibility of elements on the page, right? So we've got three in particular that we want to look at today, right? So we're going to look at, is the element displayed on the web page? Is the element selected on the web page? And is the element enabled on the web page? Now, to find examples to do this, all three of these visibility of elements on the web page, right, proved a bit difficult, but I've got a website, right? So let's not waste any more time. Let's just dive straight into it, okay? And we talk as we go along, okay? So we jump into our Eclipse, and the first thing is, in our project, we want to, set up a test case. So we go a visibility elements, that's all right. And then click public static void main. Again, common thing we want to do, we want to pick up the three common line of code between all your test scripts, right? So the one that launches the URL, the one that makes WebDriver as an object, and so we'll copy that and set in your system properties for the Chrome browser. Okay, so we'll go back to our visibility test case, put that in there. We want to change this URL to our test URL for this particular part of it. So what is the first one we want to do? Right, so let's try isSelected, right? What we've got to say about isSelected is isSelected will only work for checkboxes, radio buttons, stuff that you click on. So checkboxes, radio buttons, right? Two of which, and there's another one I forget just now, right? But let's check out isSelected. Okay, so we go to the website we're going to use and see. I came across this website. Shout out to the people who have the website. I'm just using it for practice purposes. Yep, it's free CRM. So now this is a checkbox here, right? So we want to see if this is selected or not. So what we want to first of all do is, as we always do, inspect that property and see if we can see some attributes that stand out, right? Like an ID that we could just write straight to click that. Okay, so in here we got type, checkbox, name, value. There's no ID, right? There's no ID. We've got name. I don't know if the name is unique. We could try name, right? So let's write to click that with name, right? So we use our name strategy, right, as our locator. Name as our locator strategy. There we go. So we go. Nah, it's not get. Sorry about that. It's fine. Keep doing that mistake, right? I think I'm just being too fast. By name, right? So what was our name? Go back here, copy our name. This will only work if it's unique, right? So put that in there and say dot click. That's too much of a dot click, right? So let's run this and see if we can click on that checkbox or select the checkbox. Was it a radio button? Checkbox. Right, come on. Hope you've had a good day. I have. Right, here we go. Boom, selected, right? So the default is unselected, but that definitely selected that, right? So we can prove that, right? Let's use, so we've located that checkbox, right? And we can just use the same code. So we've located it using name. So if we want to say isSelected, that's what we want to go for. If we go to my website, right? If we can go back to my website, right? So we want to use isSelected, right? So if we write code before we check this checkbox, then it should be false. And then if we write the code after we check the checkbox, it should be true. So let's do that right now, okay? So we've already located that element using a name. So all we want to do is dot is selected, right? So that's as easy as it is, right? Now we're not going to see that. What we have to do now is to write the output into our print console, and you know how to do this by now, right? So we would put a bracket after that, and then we'll write system dot out dot println. Now you want to carefully put this into those two brackets, right? So in there it goes, right? And now if we run this, this should actually show that the box has not been ticked yet, so it will return a false. And then if we copy this and we put it, copy, and we put it immediately after we've ticked the checkbox, this now should return true, right? So let's just run that and find out, okay? And that should print it out into our console out there. Yeah, let's go for it. Come on. It's a bit fast today, huh? Here we go. So that was quick. Unfortunately, you don't see all of it, but it did take that. So if we go back to our console, false and true, right? So that's false and true. Yeah, so false before it ticked it and true after it ticked it, right? So what's next? Go back to our blog, and we've done isSelected. Now we should do isEnabled, right? So isEnabled. We just comment that out. And what we want to do is go back to our practice site. Now, if we inspect this element, so type is submit name. We can select by name again, see if it's unique enough. So we'll copy this. For this ID, it's not unique. ID is submit button, and this name is also submit button, so that's not unique, right? So let's write the next path, right? Or there's another unique, no unique, right? So we'll write the next path for this, right? So we'll use button, type, and submit, right? So we'll go Control F, // button, open your square brackets, iterate, type is the attribute, equals to value, open and close your single quotations, and then close your brackets there. And I think the value, I cannot remember what the value was, so we inspect it again. Oh, the value was submit, right? So we'll drop this in here and see if it's unique. If it's unique, we'll see 1 of 1. So 1 of 1, it's unique, right? So let's just copy this. And you see, when you click here, it's not enabled, is it? If you click here, that's when the button is enabled, right? So by default, this is how you get into the page, right? By default, that button is not clicked. So if we run our code saying is this selected, it should say false, right? And then we'll go ahead and click this, and then we'll run our code again, and it should say true. Okay, so that's the aim of it, right? So we go driver dot find element by dot xpath, open close, double quotations, drop our xpath in here, hopefully not that jingle. So there we go, dot isEnabled, right? isEnabled, and that's it, right? Now again, if you run this, you will not see anything because this returns true or false, right? This actual code returns true or false. That's the way Selenium have set it up, right? So we want again to print it into our print console. Okay, so our bracket goes at the end of there, and then we want to do a system. Sometimes I print too fast. System dot out dot print line, right? I want to just make sure we are in the brackets, right? So that's it. So if we run this now, it should come back with false, right? Because as we know, default is checkbox is not ticked and the submit button is disabled, right? Or not enabled. So we should say false. So we run this. Here we go. Pay close attention at the end here. So we'll find out that the checkbox is not ticked, right? Checkbox not ticked, which means button is not enabled, so it will be false, right? So if we close this and go to our console, it's false, right? So now if we write a piece of code, right, that ticks that box, so we just copy this code that we've already done here. So driver.find, and then here we see we don't want to copy that code, right? What we want to write is to actually tick the checkbox, right? So we want to find this checkbox and tick it, right? So is it a property here that's unique? Let's do it with name. Okay, I think we've already written it up here, right? So this is it, right? Let's copy that bit. Copy. That's a piece of code already written up there, right? So we're going to put it down here, and we want to copy the exact code again that prints out if it's true or false, if the button is enabled or not, and then we'll put it down here, right? And now we run it again. So what we should see is false and then true, right? Because the checkbox is checked after we are printing out again into our print console. Okay, great. Again, get engaged, comments. Right, let's just check. You see, checkbox was checked, right? So if we go back to our console, we should see false and true, right? Sorry, we just overwrote on the false, right? So that's false and true. So there you go, Selenium done it again, right? So it's as easy as that. If you find a website that works, right? I had to look forever to get this. This is why I didn't have a video yesterday, because I was looking for a website to actually do a live demo on it, right? And now the last one we want to do is disabled, right? Is disabled. Now if you go to this, if you go here, right? Now that button should be disabled, right? Because if you click on it, it doesn't work. Right? If you click on it, it doesn't work. I suppose that's what enabled means, or disabled, right? But if we click on and inspect that, we get this, right? Now if we expand this, see, if you click on either of this, it highlights that, okay? So if we go with class, dev class, my button, right? Should write an XPath for that. Div class my button. So we'll copy this and write an XPath for that. So we'll // div, and we go open square brackets iterate class is equals to single quotations, open and close your square brackets, and then you put my button in there. So that highlights that, right? So if we take this, we copy that, and we go to our Eclipse. Again, we just want to comment the other ones out, and right, so we'll go driver dot find, right? So it's XPath, right? So we'll go by dot XPath open close double quotations. We want to drop our XPath in here, and what we want to say is dot isDisplayed. Obviously it's on screen, right? So not quite sure what will happen here, but let's just go for it, right? Let's print this out. isDisplayed. It is shown on the screen. It is shown on the screen. So I think this is going to be a true. Yeah, it's going to be a true, I think. Yeah, I think it's on the screen. It's going to be a true. I think it doesn't work like disabled, right? isDisplayed, because it has to return true or false, right? And I think this is always going to return true, because you can actually see it on the screen, right? Yeah, I think we return a true. It doesn't return anything because guess what? We didn't print it out into the console. Let's quickly do that, okay? Sorry about that. Now you know you have to always print out into the console if you want to see anything. So it's system.out.println, and then just make sure you put it into the brackets, okay? And then now if we run this again, you should see it in the console. This video has gone on too long, right? So thanks for your engagement again, and thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get videos I release, right? So, and many to come, very many to come against all sorts of topics, right? So there we go, and I think this is going to be a true, right? And it's a true, right? So I've not been able to find one to show you this, but if that were not displayed on screen, then it would return a false, right? And you just behave as the other ones have behaved. So thank you for watching, and please stay engaged. If you're a test analyst like myself, you want to be engaged in the wider community, right? So watch some online webinars. Go to some conferences if you can. Stay engaged. That's the only way you do some deep learning, and do things like this, right? So thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get videos when I release them, and hopefully you're engaging and you're adding to your skill sets. Okay, out there now, you want to stay with the market, right? As in your skill set. So if you find yourself out with a job, you back straight to a job. Okay, so my name is Kevin Owasoitoe. I've taken lots of your time. I was hoping this video would not be this long, but there we go. Thank you. Stay blessed. Bye.